Well guys, what's going on? Today in this mini series, we are going to be gutting this dash, getting rid of any unnecessary extra wires, trying to make this as lightweight as possible. I don't know how much weight I'm going to be able to reduce because this dash is actually backed with a fiberglass enclosure, like that actually mounts a steering column to it, so I can't really get rid of much of it or any of it. I don't know, so I'm going to try and get as much of the weight reduced by removing stuff that I don't actually need. Oh, also, I know I said I wasn't going to take anything more stuff apart, but to put this back together, I got to take this apart. So today we're going to take this apart and then hopefully put it back together all in one day. Dash is stripped to no wiring. I'm basically as light as I'm gonna get it. I can't cut any of the supports out, which whatever. I guess the rest of the weight drop will be what I don't put back in the cab of the truck. What I am working on right this current moment is stock instrument cluster out of the EcoBoost truck. Trying to make it fit nicely, which if get it in the right spot, the wires will be tucked away and stuff. I'm gonna have to make a mask or something to cover this up because it doesn't fit with the factory mask in there. But once I trim, basically you got to trim, I think, a straight line across like right here, and then I'll fill in all the blanks with some fiberglass or some PVC or something. But I can see the whole instrument cluster. TAC, speedo, I don't care about tranny temp. I basically just care about gas or coolant temp and oil pressure. And then I don't remember what the digital readout allows me to see, but I'm going to make that work too. All of that display is just on the high-speed network, inputted from either the the only thing left is going to be the PCM. Well, instrument cluster is in place. It doesn't look the greatest yet. I'm going to fill in all of the empty voids. There's a missing screw there. Ran into a little bit of an issue with the instrument cluster. I thought it was going to be as simple as just hooking up a power, a ground, and a key key on power. But that's not how this instrument cluster works. It actually needs to see a networked message from the BCM, which luckily I did grab out of the truck. But the instrument cluster is in, fits. I just had to do a little bit of grind, actually a lot of grinding, but that wasn't today's main thing. We are going to get onto the wiring harness now that I have this in place. We're going to turn this jumbled mess. It's going to look like this. Yesterday's wiring ended up turning into a disaster. I spent like 7-8 hours, something like that, trying to thin out this under dash wiring harness. until I realized I didn't actually need either of the modules that were behind the dash. Headlight, turn signal, multifunction switch, which will be thinned out too because I'm not using wipers in this truck. The ignition switch, the turn signal relay, these 3 bulkhead connectors. I don't know if you can see them or not. They're these 3. This fuse box, I'm not actually going to use. I'm going to cut all these connectors. Like, I need this connector. This is for the headlight switch, and this is the dimmer switch. Oh, I need the brake pedal position switch, and this goes to the passenger door, which I'm getting rid of the door jar switches, speakers, or I'm going to run aftermarket wiring for the speakers because I'm going to put a head or an amp in it. So basically I need a total of 4 connectors out of this entire harness, and then because that's trash, I'm going to take this, which is the BCM, out of the factory F-150. It needs a power, which I'll just put a lug on here and attach it to a positive battery stud on the firewall, like a bulkhead stud. I kind of went through the wiring diagram last night and figured out what each of these wires in each of these connectors does. I'm going to depin what I don't need, and then what I leave, based on the fuses and stuff, I'll be able to supply power to the multifunction switch, the clutch pedal position switch, the brake pedal position switch, the ignition switch. It's just going to integrate everything much better than having a bunch of different fuse boxes. So I'm going to have this one fuse box, and then I'm going to have a fuse box under the hood that I have to build for the PCM control side. So I'll have one fuse box for the body, one fuse box for the engine. Lesson learned: sometimes it's easier to just start fresh than it is to isolate original stuff. So I need to get some wire. There you have it, guys. This is all I got left for factory under the dash wiring. It's a lot more organized, a lot less wires. But yeah, these are the bulkhead connectors, clutch pedal, brake pedal, or clutch pedal and brake pedal switch. Just some dangling wires that are going to go to the BCM, ignition switch, headlamp, and wiper motor, or wiper like multifunction switch stuff, turn signal relay, and this is the headlamp switch and the dimmer switch. This is a multifunction switch, so turn signals and wiper motor and that kind of shit. And all of this is going to be ran into this BCM. I decided to not have 2 fuse boxes, and yeah, this is there's still a lot of cleanup to do in this. There's a lot of loose wires that I don't know if I'm going to need or not. Probably use Excel, make a chart to figure out what fuse to use for the BCM to these factory wires, or fuses to use for the BCM for the factory wires. So yeah, I'm going to individualize all these connectors, mark out grounds. Actually, I shouldn't have to mark out the grounds. I'll just have to go through every connector as I'm building the harness, so that everything kind of looks and runs clean. So once I have the fill panel installed in here, which I'm gonna do from the front side of the truck just to kind of, I don't know, make it look nice. My plan is to actually mount this right around here. But the other cool thing is this battery's kind of been sitting here for a little while. This is a battery junction box. This is from a 20, I can't remember the year, I believe 2012 plus Escape, and I think also Focus, and basically they're Ford's basically entire car lineup. It sits in between the battery and the air box, and if I can get it open without breaking it, it's got fuses. I don't know if I'm going to need to use all of them. I'm going to have an alternator on one, PCM fuse box on another one, the BCM on another one. I just got to figure out what size I want for everything. This truck's not actually going to pull a lot of load because it's a pretty basic electrical system. But then, like I said earlier, or like I said, I'm going to put an amp in this thing to control my music. So I can easily take one of these 80, 70, 60 amp, because it's not going to be a big amp. It's just going to control 4 speakers. Run a direct power wire right through here. I don't know. I thought it was a neat idea. It, again, it was free. I like free. Yeah, this is kind of how my wiring dilemma yesterday turned into just a little bit more work in the long run to make the truck's electrical system function better. Sometimes when you're doing stuff like this, plans change. Again, hit the like button, subscribe button, hit that bell button just so that you get notifications every time I post a video.